So I want to welcome everybody. I'm so excited to have you here tonight. My name's Lisa Lothian. I'm a certified detox specialist and practitioner, an energy healer, and I've been on a journey really since I was a preteen. I've been a natural health fanatic since then, and I'm always, looking for the next thing to get us to the next level. And I became a detox practitioner about four and a half years ago after a bout with cancer. And I did that because I knew I was doing everything that I knew to proactively, prevent things like cancer, and I still got it. And I really felt like the piece was detox. So when I was going through my training, to be a detox practitioner, my mentor, Dr. Daniel Pompa, who started a program called True Cellular Detox, talked a lot about the next generation of probiotics. And, a lot of us are familiar with probiotics. We've taken them here and there. And, you take something with a few strains and it's not it hasn't been very comprehensive, I'll say, in the past. But with the Genome Project, not only were they able to identify our genetics, but they were also able to identify the genetics of other organisms. And so much has been learned since then about how probiotics and other organisms in our body interact. So a couple of things I want you to think about. When you look in the mirror and you see this vessel we call our body, it's really only 10% human as far as the number of cells. There are 9 to 10 times as many other organisms as there are human cells. And those can be, probiotics, they can be pathogens. So you've got some good and some bad. So in very simplistic terms, you want the good to outweigh the bad because the good is going to fight off the bad. And again, you've seen probiotics that say we have, 15 billion of this and 20 billion of that. But the key isn't as much to have very high numbers of these probiotics as to have a variety of probiotics. And a lot of probiotics in our society have become extinct because, the extensive use of antibiotics. So kill the biotics, so you're killing those probiotics. And yes, they kill the pathogens too, but then the probiotics aren't there to ward off other pathogens coming in. And that's where you get the antibiotic resistant strains. We don't live in nature as much as we used to, which is where you pick up a lot of these probiotics. In fact, if you go to a national park, chances are you're going to pick up some probiotics that you don't have because there are strains that are in each of these national parks. A lot of indigenous cultures or more rural cultures tend to have more of a variety of, or, a number of probiotics, a variety in their organism, if you will, than somebody who lives in the city. So just some things to think about. So what do these probiotics do? Or probably the better question is, what don't they do? The human cells aren't doing nearly as much as the probiotics, and that's why they're there. We don't really make our own hormones. We eat the cholesterol, and a appropriate probiotic then turns that into a hormone. Same with neurotransmitters and bone. So pretty much every process in your body needs these probiotics to do their job to, get the ultimate effect of what your body's trying to do. And if you don't have the right probiotics, the body's going to rob from Paul to pay Peter and get the job done, just maybe not in the ultimate or most effective or efficient manner. So, energy is a little bit finite in that if you're spending energy because you don't have the right probiotic and it's saying, well, this one can do the job, but then it's taking that one away from its job, and it becomes a little bit of a catch-up game. And you pile stress on top of that, which hinders everything that the body's trying to do. And in my opinion, this is why we're seeing so many degenerative diseases at younger ages. There's a lot of other factors, our food source, that kind of thing. but it's such a big piece of the puzzle. So when I saw what Amare was doing, I really got excited. And, I just know that that's key to get the variety of these probiotics. And a lot of you know me, I'm a Body Talk practitioner, and Body Talk is all about restoring communication on an energetic level. But I've always said you need the energetic and you need the physical. And that same type of communication is going on with these probiotics. And think of your body also as kind of like the earth. Every part of, or different parts of your body are different terrains. So just like you have different communities of organisms in the desert than you would a rainforest, we have different probiotics that live in our mouth versus our gut versus our brain. There's different terrains, if you will, on our bodies. So they need different probiotics. And then they talk to each other. So you may have heard the gut-brain axis. That's the probiotics in the gut talking to the probiotics in the brain, or sending those neurotransmitters, really. I'm simplifying a lot of this just for discussion, but so it's not, a scientific journal explanation here, but I think you get the point. So, and also, all of you people that have been with me for a while and through a lot of things, I'm also always passionate about weight loss, because it's probably my Achilles heel. I'm a big foodie and I eat really, really well, unless I'm going and having some fun. And even more recently, a lot of us here, most of us experienced a trauma together. And I think I've, eaten some of my food to bury that a little bit. So I'm ready for a reset. Now my daughter's birthday is next week, so I'm not starting until after next week. But these products use probiotics to do so much in the body. And just in the week that we've had the products, I've seen a huge difference in mood in my family. Now their story is not mine to tell, so I'm not going to go into detail, but I mean, in 2 days, I could see a difference. And that's only with 2 products for one of my family members and 2 products for another. And even, I started them each on one so I could see what would happen, and then added a second. I've added the energy and the sleep product, and oh my gosh, I just have so much energy since just doing that. And I'm going to continue to add things in. So I know I'm kind of giving you the broad strokes here. So I have Sheri Brown on the phone. And she's been with Amare from day one, and she is just a wealth of knowledge. So I've invited her to just give you guys a little bit of an overview of what I'm talking about here and what Amare has. So without further ado, take it away.
Hey, hi, everybody. Thank you. I mean, could you just not even listen to Lisa like all night? I'm just bubbling with, oh, that is so good. Can you talk a little bit more about that? So I have no problem moving over and just listening to you, Lisa. That was so good. You just were able to bring it down to the cookie jar, because some of this stuff, I think for the longest time, we really thought that the answer was going to be found in up and down regulating genes. So they mapped the gene sequence, right? And so not only was the pharmaceutical companies, but the natural products companies were trying to turn on and off gene sequences. So for instance, in a natural products company that I was a part of, that was a pharmaceutical company that had converted to a natural product, they would use something like Scutellaria root and acacia bark, which was a natural plant molecule. And they put that up against in clinical trials against Celebrex, and it absolutely kicked Celebrex, a pharmaceutical with a black box warning, to the curb with no side effects. Well, that's good for the body, right? So everybody thought that you could turn on and off inflammation just by a couple of these little mechanisms. Well, for the longest time, and for those of you, I'm sure you're all educated around this, but sometimes I need the reminder of what is the microbiome. And so if your colon is as tall as you are, and it's got all of these nooks and crannies in it, there is a community inside of there. And for the longest time, they just thought, fill it and flush it. There's nothing to look at. And then all of a sudden, somebody decided to map the microbiome. And it was an, oh my word moment, because they found almost like it's the master computer. It's the first brain that's talking to the second brain that is, sending out neurotransmissions to the thyroid, the immune system, the nervous system. And so in essence, if that a system or that community has viruses in it, it's almost like a computer that has a virus. And you know how frustrating that is. You can turn on and off that computer, and no matter what you do, kick it to the curb, it is not going to perform. And so the same thing is true. We call it weeds. When your gut has more weeds than flowers, then there's all kinds of nonsense that happens. So one of the things that we did is we did a clinical trial with a team of healthy firefighters. And in this clinical trials, we gave them this particular product that I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes to these guys that were strapping young men that thought they had the world by their tail. And 30 days later, they came back and reported a reduction in depression, 55%. Their fatigue score went down 64%. How about their tension and their confusion? It went down 45%, but their sense of vigor went up. And they were like, what? What is that all about? All we did was just take this powder and we took a couple capsules. Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because that is our main product that we came to market with, called Fundamentals. Now, what Lisa was mentioning, I'm going to bring up around our newest product, but I want to give you a running start about this company, Amare, which means love. And it was, I've been here since day one. I was literally the first person, I think, that they flew in to take a look at the product and the company, because that I have kind of a background in that. And so when I flew in, when I heard that they were part of or had a connection with the Microbiome Center at UCLA, man, I just leaned forward because I wanted to know more. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Microbiome Center at UCLA, matter of fact, I think I have a copy of his book right here. This is the Mind-Gut Connection, Dr. Amare Breakthrough. He runs the Microbiome Center at UCLA. He's been doing this science for 25 years, and so he knows all about the mapping of the microbiome and how the gut talks to the mind. And so he's on our board. So that's where this whole information pipeline is coming from. And our chief formulating officer, Dr. Sean Talbot, he's got a double master's degree, PhD fellowship. He's written 13 or 15 books now. He's a world-class Ironman. And so he came over to bless Amare, and he actually is a founding chief science officer. So he's part of us. He's not just kind of like a rent-a-guy. And so he formulated this first product that, as a result of the science behind it that I told you, it received the #1 Product of the Year award, called the Nutra Award. Now that is a whopping big deal. Let me tell you what that is so that you know. The Nutra Award is where they take everything in that year off the shelf that is new. Vitamins, kombucha, Cliff Bars, Kind Bars, whatever is sold in Vitamin Cottage, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, you name it. They take it off the shelf and they send it actually here, where in my location, I'm from Denver, Colorado, but just north of me is Boulder, Colorado. There's a large facility called Ingredia, and they take all of these products and they get them tested for efficacy, sourcing, education, the whole 9 yards. And then they drill it down and they give their recommendation, and then it goes to Expo East and Expo West. And there's about 30,000 people that vote on the #1 Product of the Year. Well, we received it. That's huge. And they've never given it to a direct sales company, and they've never given it to a startup, for heaven's sakes. But they gave it to us because of the unique science around modulating the gut microbiome, syncing up the messages to change mental wellness. We're the mental wellness company because now we know that mental wellness is actually found in the gut. Forever they thought that it was in the brain, and so they've been prescribing all kinds of things and doing all kinds of nonsense with shock therapy and such. Okay, well, here's the deal, is that we found that it's in the gut. So what we do is we use a 3-pronged approach. #1, we use this one called Focus. Focus it helps to heal up those leaky guts and reduce the inflammation. And when you reduce the inflammation in the gut, you turn the lights on. And about 2 weeks later, it feels like somebody did a windshield wiper blade over your brain, especially if you're postmenopausal. And all of a sudden, you know why you're walking over here to this cupboard. And that is a beautiful thing. But when you reduce inflammation in the body, Time Magazine said that inflammation precedes disease. And so we're getting after it at the root cause of where all this nonsense is starting. But then what we did is we took the exact strain and species of probiotics. So when Lisa was talking about probiotic strains, probiotics are like tools. So if Lisa said, Sheri, would you go over to Home Depot and get me some tools? I would run over to Home Depot and be standing there and go, what kind of tools? Like, do you need a hammer? Are you painting? Do you need a saw? What do you need? And that's what probiotics are. But now what we found out is it's not just the probiotic, and maybe even more important than the probiotic is the prebiotic, the one that feeds them. So there's been some companies that have come to market with a probiotic, but they didn't have the right prebiotic, which means that it was almost like having a giraffe and giving it a steak. Would that work? No, the giraffe would starve because that's not what the giraffe eats. So you have to have the probiotic with the exact strain that that probiotic needs, but you also need some phytonutrients, and I call that the fence. I want to fence off all of this good growth of gut bacteria so it can outpace all the weeds. So we can get rid of the weeds, or most of the weeds. Some of the weeds have a reason to keep out some of the really bad stuff. So we want to grow those flowers. But what happens after we grow those flowers with this particular formula? This is the most important, because what we need to do, and nobody has anything like this, Zymogen, Menogenics, you name it, standard process, all of those things that are sold at, like a regular doctor's office and things like that. Nobody has anything like this. And what this is called sync, not like the kitchen sink, but it's like syncing up the electrical currents, which Lisa knows everything about that. The importance of getting the new gut bacteria or the flowers through the vagus nerve up to the brain so that you could have this experience of new language. Now, I just absolutely did not, I was dumb as a rock as it came to this stuff, because what woke me up was my dad died of esophageal cancer. He went from perfect health to gone in 5 months. And I was the mom that would let my kids on their birthday get their favorite sugar cereal, for heaven's sakes. I mean, it just really bad. But then I was actually driving the pink Cadillacs for Mary Kay, if you can believe it. And I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I never want anyone to go through what I've been through. I need to get myself educated. And I've been on a journey ever since. But in the middle of that journey, my middle daughter, when she was 26, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And I know it takes the air out of the room here for just a quick minute because it dropped me to my knees, but my daughter's fine. She survived that. She's been cancer-free for 14 years, and people don't usually have that story with pancreatic cancer. I know. And we have our miracle twin babies too, James and Ellie. And I have been a mama on a hunt, looking for answers, real science answers with clinical trials and all the other good stuff that comes with it. And if anybody on the call is one of those people like me, I was showing Lisa this. This is my book that has all of the clinical trials, all the studies, all the white papers. And now it's actually 3 volumes thick. So we've got it here. So listen, what happened to me when I first tried this product was remarkable though, because about 15 days, all of the negative chatter in my head just kind of went silent, like the chatter that says, get up, you have 4 college educations to pay for and 4 weddings. and so about 15 days after that, all of a sudden I remember the day that it was like somebody turned on the lights and I woke up to creativity and hopefulness and optimism. And I thought, are you kidding me? I am back. But then I thought, what's happened to me? So I picked up my phone and I called our formulator, Dr. Sean Talbot, and I said, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? I woke up this morning and there's like roses and flowers. And he said, yeah. He said, Sheri, guess what? Those weeds have died off. and the flowers, the garden is growing, and we're syncing up the messages, and you're hearing the neurotransmissions. This is you, the real you, with the good gut bacteria rolling, with the right hormonal signals and all that kind of good stuff. Well, with your fundamentals comes a remarkable product called Reboot. It's over here somewhere. Yeah, Reboot. We give this to you free. And Lisa's going to love this, because it's all about detox. If you look on the back, what it does is it helps support the liver, the kidney, all those detoxification organs. And what we want to do is we want to help you with eat these things, avoid these things. And it's simple. It's just kind of like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds for 3 days and take these capsules. And if that's too hard, then just take 1 capsule a night. I mean, it's just not that hard. But it's important, and Lisa knows how important detoxification is in the story of her particular patients' lives. Well, then we took it a step further, and we thought, okay, if giraffes like grass and love their lettuce leaves, let's give the microbiome more of what it needs. And so we came out with a protein shake seed fiber superfood to just almost like Miracle Grow. And it was phenomenal. And we use plant-based products in it, but it tastes creamy and smooth and delicious. And we have this salted caramel protein that I put in my coffee in the morning. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And it doesn't break what we talk about intermittent fasting and our intuitive eating, which is something that we've just recently done, because after our fundamentals and all of our GBX protein, what happened is all of our little children, the moms, were saying, can I use this powder for my kiddos? And we're saying, yes, you can, but we could do better. And so we came up with an isofiber fruit that tastes like fruit punch, and we put it in our children's product. And so then we came out with a children's version of this, but something magical happened when we did that. And it has happened for all of us, because one of the products is called Kids Mood. Ta-da, Kids Mood. And it's pixie sticks. It's just like the old-fashioned pixie stick that you remember, that sort of tastes like cotton candy. And what you do is you pop it open, throw it into your mouth. It's kind of chewy and yummy. And there's no calories, there's no sugar, because we sweetened it with that isofiber fruit. But it's saffron. And saffron in clinical trials outperforms Prozac for adults and Ritalin for children. And so it's not only a kid saver, but it's a mommy saver. And so this is something that you can have in the afternoon, and you will see and feel and measure something very noticeable. But we also have the kids version of the Mentibiotics, and then a vitamin for them that is packed with all of the things that our little children need. And we have seen some of the most amazing stories that we'll talk about on another version, not a recorded version, because we don't want to in any way talk about treating, diagnosing, curing, and all those different kinds of things. I'm not a medical professional, but I'll tell you, between you, me, and the fence post, we are seeing some of the most wonderful things that would bring tears to your eyes regarding our children, which is fabulous. Well, then we decided it's time to take it up a notch. We not only up to that point had our digestive enzyme that helps with the peristalsis, because Lisa knows, for instance, Elvis Presley, he died with about 50 pounds of fecal material. That's a little known fact. But so we've got to get that junk out of the trunk. And so that's what our digestive helps with, but it also helps to break down those pancreatic enzymes, or where you're lacking the pancreatic enzymes to break down that food. And then we have an omegas infused with lavender that's just yummy, and a general health probiotic. But skip over that for just a quick second, is that we at that point, what we knew to be true is we needed to, we were ready to do a responsible thing under the umbrella of mental wellness. It was time to do healthy weight loss. Well, the science has evolved, and many people on this call would say that, oh, weight loss is calories in, calories out. Well, there's something to be said about that, but the things that are being demanded of you, like, I want French fries. isn't coming from good gut bacteria. It's coming from the weeds that are in control. So once we were able to dial down the weeds and give you your flowers back, there were some natural things that were beginning to happen. And so we were seeing all kinds of good things. But if we modulate that balance or modulate that microbiome again, okay, so here's the science. The science right now is that there once upon a time was a skinny little mouse, and his next door neighbor was a fat mouse. And the skinny little mouse, if you could take a little bit of his good gut bacteria and put it into the fat mouse would get skinny. And the fat mouse, if you put that bacteria into the skinny mouse, the fat mouse or the skinny mouse would get fat. Well, the science was proven. And so fecal transplants began to take place, not here in the United States, except if you had C. diff, but overseas, there's some that kind of thing going on. But what if you could do that with probiotics? That's amazing. Well, guess what? We did it. And so now we have a prebiotic, a postbiotic, a phytobiotic. This is a quad biotic. Okay. And what they do is they help to reduce inflammation, reduce the stress of the body, the cortisol level. It helps to burn belly fat. It addresses all of those mechanisms in the gut and helps, instead of the body to store the fat, to release the fat. And then at the same time, it helps the body to fire the right hormonal signals. Because if you're on the call and you've done the postmenopausal thing, you know what that's all about. And it's quite the nightmare, right? So what happens is all of a sudden those hormones start to fire, and it is just so incredible. So I'll tell you my story. When I was a little girl, we lost my little sister to a staph infection. And my mom and dad were so afraid that my brother and I would get infected somehow. We were given prophylactic antibiotics for months and months and months and months. Prophylactic antibiotics, whether we were sick or not, we got the antibiotics. And so speed forward, that led to all kinds of crazy illnesses that they gave the booster shots for gabaglobin. So we got all of that, and then it led to face breakout. So they put me on 3 years of tetracycline. Well, holy cow, there's not a flower in my house. So really, I'm the fat mouse. And so is my brother. My brother is like 300 pounds, and the fat mouse. We got scrubbed down with Physahex every night, for heaven's sakes. And so when that GBX fit, let me show you what it is. This one right here, we call it the purple pill. When this GBX hit my system, I started losing 0.5 pound a day. And when everything started to level out, it ended up being, during Christmas and New Year's, 12 pounds during Christmas and New Year's with the purple pill. Now, to that, I added one of our other new products called Edge. And Edge deals with mood, motivation, and metabolism. It tastes like a jolly watermelon Jolly Rancher. But what it has in it is mango leaf, lychee fruit, and palm fruit. The science behind this is so incredible. What it does, passively burns visceral fat, guys. Visceral fat is that white fat, that bad stuff that gets into your liver, that even when you're working out at the gym is so hard to get to. It's that fat that gets around your organs that's just not good for you. Well, this passively burns belly fat. So when you put these two little puppies together, oh my gosh, it is just so exciting. And then when you modulate your gut to actually get to the root cause, we are exploding as a company. Let me just tell you. I can't even tell you how much we're exploding. We just opened up Mexico, just opened up Canada. My organization itself, I've never seen anything like it, because we are addressing the very issue that is America is talking about right now. They're talking about mental wellness. They're talking about the next generation of children that have gone through this whole pandemic, and in some cases are still having to be masked. All those different kinds of things. There's some psychological stuff with the loss of income and the livelihood of a small business, or trying to get back on their feet, or the healthcare professionals that are struggling within their circle for a lot of different reasons. So we are right centered as a mental wellness company in the middle of the conversation of America and around the world. And we have real solutions, real science that is making a real difference that you can see, feel, and measure. And guess what? If you don't, it's 100% money back guarantee for a year. I mean, what company does that kind of stuff? We do, because we believe in what we're doing. We know what we're doing is backed by clinical trial and is going to bring the results that you are looking for. Well, as a result of that, the business only has two tracks. It has a customer track, and we love our customers. And when you start losing all that weight and your sister-in-law says, "What are you doing?" we're going to say thank you with another free product. That's awesome. We love that. Or we have a wellness partner track, and that's what I am. That's what Lisa is. And a wellness partner, when your sister-in-law sees you losing weight and she wants some and she orders some, we're going to drop a check in your checking account on Friday, and we get paid every Friday and once a month. And so that's the difference. Do you want product? Do you want to check in your checking account? And then what comes with that is us. We are working upline. We are doing this full time because we have so many people to help. We want to change stories. We want to change lives. We want to interject, and influence some of this conversation. Somebody just popped up with a question. How can I get a copy of the clinical trial? Well, that's great, because Lisa, as a wellness partner, has an app on her phone that we all get that has all of the clinical trials, all of the technical data sheets. It has all of the ingredient sheets. It has videos by Dr. Sean Talbot, or any of the accompanying people that are helping with a particular project at her fingertips. She just pushes a button and she sends it right over to Jeannie, and Jeannie's got it. She could literally have it within seconds of this conversation. And you'll just open it up and there it is. Watch it, look at it, tear it apart. And at the same time, we also have Dr. Sean Talbot on speed dial, and for some of those really big brain hard questions. And it's hit ABC News because of our saffron. We have been featured in multiple different magazines. So it's written. It's not just, a lot of people will say, well, do you have published? Yeah, we have all that too. And so it's just really, really exciting. And I think that's why Lisa wanted you to know. And I know how much you trust Lisa. You trust her brand, that if she finds something new, she's going to tell you about it when she has checked it out herself, and she knows that this is something that everybody has to look at. And so I'm so thankful for Lisa. I trust her brain. I mean, to tell you, she is an absolute joy and delight. But what I'd like to do, Lisa, for a minute with your guests, I'd like to be able to let anyone who'd like to unmute themselves and ask some questions, because if you have these questions, so does everybody else. And I would love to be at least step in that place and maybe.
Yes, that would be great. So if you're muted, most of you, I guess everybody is. So you have to unmute yourself if you have a question.
Okay, I figured it out.
There you go.
I know what I'm going to look like. Oh, here I am.
Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, do you have a website that we could go look? Because it's hard to see what you're holding up and what it's called, and I've been taking notes.
Yeah, so let's do this for just a quick second. I'm going to take you over and actually show the website. Here's one of the, let's just watch for a quick second. This is our newest product, GBX Fit, and I'm going to play this video for you. These are the things that Jeannie's going to be able to, or Lisa is going to be able to send you over, Jeannie. This is our GBX Fit. So that there would be just one of our quick videos. Now let me go ahead and exit this screen for just a quick second. There we go. But then Jeannie, I want to show you this, because what Lisa will have the opportunity to do, let me back this up for just a quick second, and I'll show you in our PDF section. These are all of the PDFs, the ingredient sheets, all of the things that would house everything that you would need about, for instance, our quality assurance. What are some of our natural flavorings? What are the phase benefits that we could expect to see if we stayed on the product for a while? So any and all of these things are at your fingertips and able to, that you can access, and then do your research on the clinical data sheets that are down in this area. So that will be helpful for you, Jeannie. We have all of that so when you get one of those here, I'll back out of this for just a quick second and stop sharing. So when you, when Lisa sends you over a link, it'll say, go to my website, and you'll be able to click right on her website and go check things out. Can't hurt anything. Just go and look around. Okay.
Yeah, and let me just clarify, Jeannie, and you may know this, but Glenda Watson, you know Glenda. Okay. She would be sending you her link. So you're muted now, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'll make sure Glenda has your email and phone number if she doesn't already. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Sheri. I just wanted to interject that.
So would anybody like me to go down the road of a wellness partner, and what is involved in a wellness partner? Because a wellness partner has a very special opportunity to take it up a notch, and not just like, for instance, if you wanted to start with something like this, let me give you some pricing so that you'll have an idea. This is $134.95, $139.95, but there's a $10 off coupon that Glenda and Lisa both have, and it comes with the reboot and as a customer or as a wellness partner. But this is considered a pack, so then you can add 3 additional items at more than 50% off. So if you wanted to be able to get your GBX Fit at 50% off and your Edge at 50% off, you could absolutely do that. If you wanted to just start with these guys, $129.95. Then you get a $10 off coupon, so it's $119.95. That is a screaming deal. And again, keep your bottles and boxes, because we want to make sure that you are just a happy, tickled, and delighted customer. And if you're not, we have 100% money back guarantee for a year. That's what I said before, right? Okay, well, with a wellness partner, it's $69 to be a wellness partner. But we had a call last night, and there's a code that allows your wellness partner to be free. So if you would like to be a wellness partner, it comes free when you get started with one of our products. But what we also have done is we have created some packages. We call them a business in a box. And I want to explain one of them and why I think that one is just so amazing. And Glenda and also Lisa can send you the launch pack video. It's what I started with. It's what these girls would start with, because it makes sense. It is a big purple box that comes, and it has your fundamentals for both you and a loved one. It has your GBX Fit and your energy. It has all of our targeted products, which is Mood, that received the #1 product of the year nomination. It has something for sleep that Lisa has a wonderful story about. It has relief for pain with that Scutellaria root and acacia bark that I told you about that outperformed, right? It's in our relief product, and also our energy. Those are our targeted formulas. But then again, it also has our kids products in there. It has our protein, our seed fiber, our superfood. So we take $1,300 worth of product and shrink that down to $749, but then we put the $10 discount on it. But let me tell you about that as far as a wellness partner is concerned, because with that comes another $200 in free product for next month when your family starts to run dry and needs some more. It also comes with trip points. We get to go on a once-a-year trip. This year it's going to be to Panama. And so if somebody would like to start a business and join us in Panama, that's where we go to hang out with Dr. Sean Talbot and the rest of the executives. And we get a lot of training as a result of that. But we also get a lot of fun, right? And then on top of that, they grandfather you into a program that is super sweet. Every time you place an order for anything, we're going to put 25% of that order back in a rewards program that you have free product, which is fabulous. And then on top of that, that entire box is 100% tax deductible. It's considered business discovery because you're going to keep your bottles and boxes and you're going to probably use it to show and tell. And you're also going to use it yourself for discovery. You might even be able to sell some of those products and those kinds of things. But that business in a box is a perfect way for somebody to be able to just kick it into gear and take it up a notch and start their business. So we have 3 different actually packages for Wellness Partner that Lisa can show you: a starter pack, entrepreneur pack, and a launch pack. But I like the launch pack because we have a program with our company, if you can believe it. It's called Focus on 5. When 5 people try your product right here, we're going to send you $500 because we want to say thank you for all of your effort. And so if they're going to give you $200 in free product and $500 cash, that's like $700. That paid for my business in a box. That is mind blowing. I mean, how does the company do that? Well, guess what? We know it works. We know you're going to love it. We know you're going to love our home and this community and all that we're doing here. We become sisters in this whole thing and brothers, and it's just pretty wonderful. So if you're interested in some more questions around that, we can certainly help. But we are the only company in the industry that does what's called guaranteed income. And how we do that is when you hit your first little level, we're going to lock in $1,000 a month for 6 months. And because oftentimes in this industry, you sort of fluctuate, and that's no fun at all. And so we lock in that guaranteed income. And if you fall below it, we're going to shore that up. And the next rank is 2,000 and then 2,500, and it just goes on and on and on. And so the reason that we can do that is because of our incredible owner, who really had has a story to tell. He tanked his life. He put his life back together. And as a result, he just knew that he needed to roll up his sleeves and help people with this conversation around mental wellness. And Amare, meaning love, we will have Amare centers worldwide where people can come free of charge and get help the Amare way. And so that's going to be something really wonderful to look forward to. My next rank is servant leader, and that's what we're called, is servant leaders. And so we do all of this kind of good work. But when I hit servant leader, what happens with that is I start something that is near and dear to my heart, a philanthropic something. And as I grow that philanthropic passion project, the company seeds money into that, because we really believe in this whole idea of money in the hands of good people will do good things. And that's what we're doing over here in Amare. And it's just the absolute best company I've ever been with. So that's about it, Lisa, unless some people have some questions and would like to pick my brain a little bit.
Oh, and also Glenda just started on the products. She mentioned she noticed some things which I want to hear. So Glenda, are you able to share?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I was pretty excited. I follow Lisa, like you said. She says here, I said, okay. So I jumped right in. I got my packet and I'm on day 3. And I was really amazed. Even the first day when I took this, I took the mental pack, the mental wellness pack, and the GBX Fit and the Edge. So that's what I'm using. And I noticed within a few hours, I started thinking more clearly, which has been huge for me because I was in an accident a while back and it's affected my thought process. One of the reasons I joined this company. I've already lost 2 pounds in 3 days.
Nice.
My energy's increased. I just feel more focused on everything I'm doing. I'm getting so much done and I can feel the cloud lifting. That's something that's huge because my energy, I've been taking naps every day since I got hurt, sometimes 2. I'm sleeping more than I'm awake. And just these past 3 days, I'm awake more than I'm sleeping. So I'm really making progress and I'm really tickled about these products.
Glenda, that is such good news. And you will hear that over and over. The probably the number one thing is I hear is, Sheri, I feel like I got my life back. And
Yes,
I mean,
I do.
yeah, I mean, that is so good. because people are counting on you. And so you get to get in the game of life and to make a difference. It's just pretty sweet.
I cut out my coffee cold turkey, just taking the sleep and the energy. And as you reminded me that people were losing weight before Christmas trying this, I'm going to go ahead and start tomorrow. I'm not going to wait until after the birthday because I can do it again.
You can
That's
absolutely do it again. And let me tell you a little bit about sleep, because I would have to tell you that that is one of my all-time favorite products, because I know the plant molecule in there. And it's called Serenex. And Serenex is a baby corn grass molecule, and not corn. So don't be concerned if you have a corn intolerance. This is corn grass. And it came from some science at the zoo where the pandas were not procreating. They were not happy campers. They had depressed pandas at the zoo. And so they began to look at their habitat, and they found that this baby corn grass would increase their happy juice, you know, their happy hormones. And the next thing you know, you've got babies. So we took it into the laboratory and tested it against DNA, human DNA. And at night, the new science is that at night, it turns on your own production of melatonin. So because we don't recommend melatonin.
Right.
Your own production of melatonin to flip on. But then in the morning, when you wake up and the sunshine hits you in the face, it turns on your all that serotonin and dopamine, and you feel this Nike swish of good morning world, I'm here. And it's just wonderful. We even have people that use sleep during the day because of that uptake. And we use it in the military for PTSD, for clearing traumatic pathways, all kinds of other great stuff. Wow. Sleep is remarkable. So my super mixture at night is 2 mood, 2 sleep, and 2 relief. And why am I doing that? Well, if I've got any kind of aches and pains from any kind of whatever, the relief is going to lower inflammation and deal with the pain. But then the mood is going to silence all this monkey mind stuff of all the day's activity, and sleep is going to turn on my melatonin. And all of a sudden it's like nighty night.
Wow.
And that's when we do all of our repair, right? So it's so important that we repair at night. There we go.
Cool. And Joyce, you just got yours too. Have you had a chance to experience anything or not yet?
I haven't gotten home yet.
Ah, okay.
It's waiting for me. I had a question about the saffron though. Is the saffron only in the kids pack pixie sticks things?
Yes, but when the adults use it. So it's something that we all use. I have it on my desk all the time. And I mean to tell you, I had a meltdown moment over some circumstances that were taking place. And a friend of mine says, Sheri, do you have your kids' mood? And I thought, oh yeah. So I grabbed actually 2. And within 10 minutes, I felt this, you know, it just was awesome. So you're going to love it, Joyce. Get yourself a box of kids' mood. It's yummy. No sugar. So you're not going to disrupt all of your wonderful progress that you're making. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. So Betty, have you met Glenda? Yeah, actually, I know she has on another call. See, we had a transfer of some accounts, and I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets, you know, honors the line of genealogy that we've worked with before. So, and I noticed you missed the beginning, but I have a recording, so I'll send that out to you. I know you're a product geek like me, so I'll make sure you get the information tonight.
We have met Lisa.
Okay, great.
I actually went and took her when I called her just to meet her. I went and picked her up and went and took her to get some.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So
awesome.
We spent a little time together.
Okay, and Judy, you can connect with Joyce. So we'll keep it all in the family there. So any other questions, anybody?
Yes, I can, Lisa, but can you shoot me the research from the app or tell me how to download the app?
I'm going to have Joyce do that.
Okay,
I've
Joyce.
done it once and I would have to bumble through it. So either
I will,
Joyce knows
yes,
how
and
or
I
we'll
will show
bumble
you
together.
guys. Yeah,
Yes.
I will show you how to do it. And that's what we're here for. We're called Team Hope, and Hope stands for helping other people elevate. And we have a training call every Monday morning, and we've got all this kind of support. Even one of the gentlemen that was just on this call, Rob Whitty, he's here to help. And it just goes on and on and on of all the people to help you. So everybody's new and everybody's bumbling their way through, and it's okay. We're here for
Yeah,
you.
it's a great team for sure. I've just so enjoyed everybody I've met. So I'm excited.
Well,
Wonderful.
thank you, ladies. Joyce and Lisa, I'll be in contact.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thanks for
Nice
joining
to
us.
meet
Have a great
everybody.
night.
Nice
Thank
to
you for your
meet you
evening.
all.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to, whoever you're connected to with any questions. We'll get them answered for you. And maybe Sheri, if you, Joyce, and Glenda and I
If
could
you guys
stay
want to
on.
stay on, I'll show you how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have a question about all that. My magic link,
Yes?
it's weird. They wouldn't let me log in. And then when I did it the other day, I got out of it. I didn't watch the last video and now it won't work. It wouldn't let me go back and go back in. So it's kind of weird.
Okay, so let's talk about that for just a minute. And I'm going to pull up a back office and show you a couple of things. And then I'll
Okay.
also show you. Okay.
Penny,
Yep.
that one too. Because I can't, nothing will let me log in. I don't know what's going on. And I'm not
Okay.
computer illiterate. I just,
Hey, no problem. It's all right. So let me share screen. And we're going to start with this one first.
And I'll send you something, Stacy, while we're doing it. So you'll be my guinea pig recipient.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me stop the recording.